This commenter says, but I feel like all of this falls under the R plus force-free umbrella though. Analyzing behavior, teaching patterns, building self-control, lowering stress levels. And this commenter and I already had a great conversation in the comments. I'm just using this as a jumping off point to talk about this more broadly because I think it really hones in on part of what I was saying in that original video, which is that positive reinforcement as a term is often being used as sort of an umbrella term to mean training that doesn't use force or suppression. And that is not the same thing as what positive reinforcement actually is. Positive reinforcement is operant learning. It means reinforcing a behavior so that it is more likely to happen again. And operant learning is always happening, classical conditioning is always happening, but when we make operant conditioning the focus of our work and the primary way through which we're trying to change behavior, ironically, that is not how we get behavior change. Because in behavior therapy, the behaviors are not happening for reasons that are comparable to the reinforcement of a treat or a toy or praise. Often what we're talking about are behaviors that are happening often for survival, or at a slightly lower level out of fear, out of anxiety, out of frustration, out of hyperarousal because the body is intensely adrenalized. And you don't address anxiety by reducing the dog's agency and making them do a behavior, even if you do it nicely and give them food. And there's nothing wrong with positive reinforcement, but it's about when we're using it. If we are, as pet professionals, taking a client's money and taking them and working with them and asking them to trust us, often in a state where their emotions are very high, sometimes there's a lot at risk. And then that is what we are offering them, is that just that operant approach. We are failing them because at the very best, it's going to be an ineffective route forward. It's going to take a lot longer, and the end result is not going to result in the level of well-being that it could for the dog, because we're missing opportunities to do a whole bunch of other stuff. And support the dog in that way. At best, it's going to be completely ineffective, because we've taken a dog who needs to feel safe and we've taught them to go do a downstay on their bed. Or we've taken a dog who really needs to learn that they can, in fact, get away from the thing that's terrifying them, and we've asked them to hold their body still in a sit. And so that is the problem, is when we use positive reinforcement in the truest sense of the term to address behavior concerns, we're missing the mark.